watching the show?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's in, somebody was saying in AMA, it's like top 10 ever made TV series rating on IMDb, and it's on everyone's tongue, right? Even if you've seen all of it, even if you've only seen 1 or 2 episodes, or you haven't seen any of it, people know of it. People aware of the title.
Awesome. Well, if you're ready, K-Jammer, we're just speaking to you today. Is there anyone else I need to unmute from the team?
Just myself from the team. Some team might be listening in, and I will be able to jump on video, but I do find that
the
video starts to lag after a little bit, and if it does cause problems, I will turn it off because it crashed my AMA earlier today, actually.
Okay, right. I'll start a recording and introduce you, K-Jam, and we can go into the House of the Dragon project. Okay, welcome to the Welcome Talk community. I'm Glenn Jones, your host. Today we have House of the Dragon joining us. House of the Dragon is actually a HBO series that's coming out. It's the prequel to Game of Thrones, and that's coming out in a couple of weeks, 21st of August. We're going to go into the NFTs, the NFT staking platform, the P2E Dragon game around the House of the Dragon project. But first, K-Jam, could you tell us a bit about your core team's background and experience?
Sure. So excellent introduction there, Glenn. It's great to be here in the Whalecoin Talk. So this is the 3rd time I've spoken here, and I've been in here before with projects that I worked on to do with DeFi yield. And the same team that I was with then, I'm still with now. And what we've managed to do is to onboard people through that process. So that process of having a community and having AMAs and being able to talk to different contacts in the space, we've managed to onboard new people into our team. So we got a core team of 6 people for this project. I am the owner of the project and also a lead dev. We have a contract dev. We have 2 people from a crypto hideout AMA group, Kev and ZR. And then we're all pretty much co-founders, but then we have a few of the co-founders that have joined from the community of the original tokens that we launched, and they're helping us with token development and strategy. And what we've been able to do with the 6 people that we've got here is develop a token that's good for the market, that's good for the investor, and one that can have longevity. And that's what's been the skill here, that the think tank that we can have, the conversations we can have where we float ideas, and having people in the space that understand what's successful, what's not successful. It's been really amazing. So we've managed to strategize a token, strategize the launch, and we think, this is going to be able to give us something that we're looking for as a team. And as a team, we're really ambitious, and we want to be able to continue and build in the space. And like being DeFi builders or being involved in DeFi, you really want that platform so that you can have the ability to create, because essentially you can do anything, right? If you've got creativity, you can do anything, but you just need the funds, the resources. So I think once you've got a successful token, the option as to where you could take that token with an ambitious team is really endless. And not just the 6 core people that I said here, Glenn. What we've also got is we've partnered up with Brothers Marketing. So we've been using an external marketing company, Brothers Marketing, and they've been fantastic. We've been running with them for over a week now, and they've been really turbocharging our launch. And so what we've been able to do there is we've been able to not only have the 6 people whereby we can throw around those think tanks, but we've been able now to onboard new external people with marketing expertise to then be able to strategize and have all these different ideas and experiences to be able to really produce something that works for the market and the investor. So a really strong team, a new experience for me, being able to work in such a broad focus. And then it's nice to be able to give people, space to be able to let their expertise move into what's good for the project, and not try and do everything, because a lot of the time in previous projects it was quite easy to do many things yourself, or you can do a lot of things really in crypto yourself. But it's nice to sit back and say, well, this person's good at this and this person can do this. And what we've managed to do through that is to have more of a relaxed type of feel to it and enjoy it. And that's what I'm trying to do here is definitely enjoy the experience, enjoy the moment. And of course, being in the moment is fundamental to the team. And I think that's how you can be successful and be fluid. So yeah, a jam-packed team at the moment, Glenn.
Some K-Jam. So yeah, if we can go into it for investors, maybe around the HBO series that's coming around House of the Dragon, which is the prequel to the Game of Thrones, like I said in the introduction, and the Target NFTs. I'm seeing there, if you get a legendary one minted, you'll instantly win $500. How does the breakdown of the rarities work for them NFTs, and how much will they cost for investors to mint?
Yeah, so what we're looking at doing here is launching the utilities on the token, because utilities is what needed, right? It's what the investor looks for. But one thing we do need to stress, Glenn, is that we believe that the main utility that we've got here is HBO and marketing. So HBO is our main utility, and that's what we're going to really focus on as a team. But of course, we need more than that. We need a packed out project. So the first thing that we're going to look to develop, that we're in development stages of now, is the NFTs. And we came from a DeFi yield background. When I came into this AMA lounge, I spoke about the two projects where we work on DeFi yield, and I talked about sustainable APY. So APY, passive income, is something that the investor likes. It's something that we're experienced with, and it's great to be able to give that back. But of course, the contract itself it's no token contract, simple buy and sell. But what we're able to do is with these NFTs, then we're going to base them off the main 9 characters. They're going to be a card format NFT with the different rarities, as you just said. And then of course, some of the rarities, once minted on our own minting DApp, you'll be able to get a cash BUSD bonus. But what we're going to be able to do is, depending on the rarity of that card, you'll be able to get a different type of APY. And what's great is that they've released those first 9 characters, and we can include those first 9 characters with different traits. But that additional cast is what's exciting. And then so what we can do then is, when the next phase of NFTs come out, and the first phase are going to be around 500 in terms of price and stuff, I'm not sure yet, but you will buy them through BNB, and the APY you receive will be in the native token. But when we go to launch more NFTs as the TV series develops, what we'll be able to do is to grab what the viewer likes, what kind of characters, whether it be a person or an animal, or maybe an object that's really interesting in the show, and we'll be able to tokenize those aspects of the show, and every single week be able to capitalize on the narrative that HBO give us. So yeah, the first phase of what you would call utilities that people are aware of is going to be NFTs. And as you've seen too, we do have a play to earn in there, and that's something that we're looking at coming a little bit later. It will be a play to earn that you use the NFTs to play, but of course we're not an NFT token. We're not a play to earn token. What we're really doing here is we're really trying to ride the hype to be able to get this contract and this protocol onto CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. That's our main thing. And that's why we've got low taxes, 6% buy and sell. We want to encourage trading. We want to be able to pump this token where it needs to go for the investor. But when we do that as ambitious individuals, we want to be able to show our skill set, collaborate too. That's another thing, Glenn, is that when we're building the NFTs, we're collaborating in DeFi. We're having conversations with all these different people. We're in different groups all the time, different ideas. And understanding like NFT tokenomics as well is something that's been great for me to try and understand. So, it builds more of DeFi by you having the idea, because you're just layering up, and everyone around you has the ability to then work and stuff. And so it's exciting, but it's all coming.
Very hectic. I mean, I think there's 3 hours left on the pre-sale as well. That's in our main chat if you want to check that out. But do check the website out, white paper, and do your research also. But yes, so can we go into the NFT staking platform? How that works? Is it unlocked staking for investors?
Yeah, so we're going to have our own minting DApp. And in terms, I'm not sure about any more fine details just yet in terms of that. Again, this is like utility that we're developing. It would have been great for us to have it for the launch. Now, we have strategized the launch a lot with the team. When was the right time to launch? What was the best type of launch? And what we've really been focusing on a lot early on is the launch, the protocol, and how to be able to get to that main goal, which is the aggregators and what's going to get us there. So we did take a step back on the utility because we didn't want to be too preoccupied with that. It seemed quite complex, to be able to get the right kind of NFTs, the right amount of number. We don't want to create the best artwork you've ever seen, and we also don't want to have the worst artwork. We want to have practical NFTs that look great, that represent the show, but also have that practicality whereby you can get the APY and the integrate work. So there's a lot of conversations been going on as to get it right. So yeah, I don't have all that information, but it would be excellent to share. But right now, we're in development stages.
Okay, great, KJ. And what sort of investors have you been attracting, like Game of Thrones fans, and there'll be new fans for the House of Dragon? How are you looking to market this? Are you mainly on Telegram? I think you've got nearly 4,000 members already, and Discord. Are you looking to grow that?
Yeah, sure. So we've got our Discord. Yeah, of course we need to grow on that. As a team, we're keen on Telegram. We like it. We mainly push all of our material on there. We've had a great community build. What we did from the beginning, Glenn, is we did exactly what we did on our first projects, and why we were speaking in your lounge multiple times is we did an AMA tour. We went away and we went into many lounges and we spoke to people for a week plus, and that's where we've got to this place now. And that's how we've got a strong core community and a strong base. And that's what's really important to us as a team, to be able to have that transparent conversation. So it's a good question, that, and people have asked how do you attract the fans? You know what I think, Glenn, is that they will find us, and what the question is how do we utilize that? How do we utilize the understanding? Because already through conversations I've been having, there is a lot of people that have superb knowledge on the TV show, and they can really come up with ideas as how you can incentivize the community, how you can maintain building hype or strategies towards, skinning their material into your Telegram, what you could do. And so it's been great to have conversation with those individuals. And I do think that, yeah, we could reach out to people, but when this becomes a hype, and we are predicting a hype here. So what we're thinking is that in 2 weeks, when HBO, drops this first episode, they're going to pump millions into the market, millions of US dollars in marketing money. We have all seen, and we have all got experience, right, Glenn, of trends outside the world that manifest into the blockchain. And I like to use the token of Will Smith, because after the Oscars, there was a Will Smith token. It did really well. And of course, there could be tokens about President Putin and other tokens that are about Pokemon and Squid and many things like that. So we have seen that it is a possibility that there is trends. There's a trend right now with the grow, everything grow. So what creates the trend? Where do they come from? How do they get there? So what we're thinking is that the connection with HBO and this being so big, it will be on a lot of people's attention, and it'll be in a lot of places around the world with culture and stuff. So is that enough for it to move over, into the blockchain? Is it enough to get everyone hyped and talking about it, and all these fans that we're seeing coming into our community and helping us out? But one great thing, Glenn, to specify and to really look at here is that the connection with Elon Musk and to the Games of Thrones is huge. He's a massive fan of Games of Thrones. He openly tweets about Games of Thrones. He's tweeted to purchase Games of Thrones, to reshoot the end season, because there's a lot of controversy about how the season was. And he's also openly tweeted about the House of the Dragon. Now, this was about 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure that once the TV series launches, he's going to be interested. And if he is interested, he's definitely one of the influential people that can merge real world events into the crypto world. So there is a possibility that this does become a trend. And once that starts to happen, yeah, I think all those people that come in that are fans, I think what we should do is look to how we can utilize them, because I think they might be the ones that really allow us to keep the token moving forward with excitement for the community.
Okay, awesome, KJ. And are you looking to go maybe cross-chain to get more invested, and looking for new investors that will see the token and not maybe understand crypto, or you maybe have some educational sort of things to get people in, investors that are actually watching the series and see your token or the NFT series and want to buy one of them?
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to go cross-chain with the NFTs. That's something we've had a conversation about. We can look to develop a marketplace. We can look to, currently the NFTs will be on the Binance Smart Chain, but of course we could look to make them cross-chain. Now, I have worked on a protocol that did go cross-chain, and I understand the complexities of that with the liquidity pools needed. And yeah, if we got to a large scale of a token, we could definitely look to do that. I think that's the exciting thing for a team, right? And that's what we're trying to do here as a team. We're trying to be able to say, we want to be able to produce a token. We see what the market's doing now. We see the popularity of meme and all this type of token that people want to buy. And it's the money up concept, right? People want the large X's. They want to be able to see a token that they can purchase and see a return from it. So yeah, as a team, we're looking at how can we develop that, and how do we get a token that is relevant more than 24 to 48 hours, because sometimes that is the lifespan of protocols on the Binance Smart Chain. So when we look at this from an investor's point of view, what we can say and what's exciting, and we can say that, 2 weeks from now, token launches tomorrow, Saturday the 6th, but 2 weeks from now, that's when we would say the real hype starts in terms of like the trend. And what HBO are going to do, Glenn, is every single week on the Sunday, they're going to release a new episode. So that new episode every week is going to create a different type of genre, a different type of happening, a different type of interest. And that's going to go on. I think there's 10 seasons, 10 episodes. So that's going to go on for 10 weeks. So there's 10 weeks plus these 2 weeks. So what we're saying here is that we've got a possibility that have a token that has a relevance of around 2 months. And that as a team then gives us the ability to do all those things. So can we go cross chain? Can we develop, different types of utility? Yes, you can if your token's still relevant and survives those first 24, 48 hours, which are some of the most brutal ones to try and get over. So yeah, I think really, Glenn, we can do anything if we get successful enough.
Okay, Jim. Yeah. And did you have a private sale before the pre-sale? I think there's still 3 hours left, is it, on the pre-sale as well, pink sale?
Yeah, the sale is currently just under 3 hours, 2 hours and 43 minutes. And we're at 113 BNB. There's no hard cap. There's no minimum buy. There's no maximum buy. And when we marketed with Brothers Marketing, when we teamed up with them, we ran the private sale through Brothers, and that was a fantastic experience, Glenn, because we launched through their page with the information, and we managed to fill a hard cap of 50 BNB in 10 hours. And that was a really pumped 10 hours. I must say it was a great experience. So yeah, we've got a private sale that has been complete, a really bullish private sale. And right now we're in a live pre-sale, which again is looking fantastic. We've been trending on pink sale all day. We're number 7 now, and yeah, we're getting to the end of the pre-sale phase. There's going to be a 24-hour break in between there, and we're going to look to launch that token 7 p.m. Saturday the 6th.
And can we go into the buy and sell tax for investors? It's low tax, like you say, 6% buy, 6% sell, and how that breaks down. Yeah, the buy and sell tax.
Yeah, sure. So it's a great tax. We've had great feedback from that. They're set taxes too. They can't be changed. It's in the contract that it can't be changed. And what we've got is we've got 2% going to the liquidity and 4% going to the marketing on both sides. So this 6% buy and 6% sell has been really attractive to the investor. And as a team, we wanted to be able to encourage trading. We want to encourage people to be able to come into the token, to be able to buy and sell. We want to do that because we want the volume. And we want to be able to participate in pushing this token to what we say, those aggregator websites where we think is the main goal. Because here, Glenn, what we're looking at is a trend. And in a trend, you need multiple things. There can't just be the one. So there is House of the Dragon tokens that are launching all around. And if this starts to develop over the next few days and weeks, we're probably going to see 20, 30, 40, maybe even get into the hundreds as the weeks develop of different tokens that are using this kind of narrative. And if that happens, that's really fantastic for us. And we applaud that. We want that. We want to be able to have more tokens in the space. We think it's really good. We're not worried about other tokens. We think it helps us. But of course, when it comes to that, we do think that there's one main goal here and there's one main winner. We're all in a race. We can all participate, but first, second, third, it's kind of set, right? And right now, there is no House of the Dragon on the CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. So I think that's the real race there. And when it comes to that race, there's those fundamentals that you need, right? You need either a lot of money or you need the volume and you need the holders, right? So there's a way in which to structure your contract and your type of protocol to be able to hit those goals. And I think having a low buy and sell tax, as much as it can affect the protocol because we don't have as much money to be able to play with, let's say it's kind of like micro, it's a lot more attractive for the investor. And already we've been seeing that the investor likes it. They really like it. So that's a great feeling to be able to say, yeah, there's a set 6% buy and a 6% sell that splits between 2% liquidity, 4% marketing.
And what's the tokenomics breakdown? Is there any put aside for the team, and is there a vesting period?
Yeah, so you jump on the website. There's a great little pie chart that breaks that all down. We don't have vesting on the private sale. We don't have vesting on team tokens. No vesting on pre-sale. No vesting at all. And that's another thing that investors have also liked. Some are a little bit wary, but some also like it too. Team tokens split down to 4.7%. The private sales at 10%. And then there's a whole breakdown there on the website with a token allocation that you can see how we split everything up there.
Okay, John. And what are you looking at when it launches? Are you looking to have like VC nights where you talk about the series and making stickers and gifts about the House of the Dragon when it launches?
Yeah, like what are we looking at when the token launches or the TV series?
The HBO series launches, yeah. You sort of going to get the chat going with everyone talking about the series, having sort of nights where everyone can go in the VC and talk about the latest episode and things.
Yeah, definitely. So this is an exciting thing here, Glenn, right? How is it we work on a strategy there? From a team, as we've been talking, we think we need attention on our token around then. So we're definitely going to be looking at getting some marketing around those days. That's going to get our name out there so people can start to look in. And what we can do is just be really fluid and be really dynamic and just follow the pace of what HBO do and follow what they start to release, because we definitely think that as the days lead up, they're going to release more information, more material, and it would be interesting to know how much money they spend on their marketing, but they're definitely going to be pumping a lot of money into their marketing. So what do they use? Can we take that? Can we bring that conversation into our Telegram? Yeah, we definitely can. There's probably going to be a lot of anticipation to watch the show. I'm like you, Glenn, you're from the UK. I'm from the UK, but we can't watch HBO Max actually from the UK. I noticed, because we were looking at trying to give some HBO reward, like give a HBO subscription to people as a reward, as like a community bonus and things. But yeah, so what we might have to do is find some streaming format for people to be able to watch it, and that'll be quite interesting too. So like people say, hey, I don't have a HBO subscription, or hey, I'm not in a valid country, how can I watch it? And then we can start like letting people know what's happened, or the conversation about what's happened in that show that night is then going to spill over. So Sunday evening, there's going to be a lot of new material that we can harness in the community, and just conversation. I think conversation is really great too, Glenn. You actually mentioned that word, conversation. I think just giving people the ability to be able to like talk about it and use that excitement. Like, did you see this happen? Did you see that happen? Because nobody really knows which way they're gonna move it, right? But I have seen some early reviews. Like, people have seen the TV series, and a lot of their reviews so far are really big, saying it's better than Game of Thrones. It's way more structurally put together. It's going to be like a huge add-on to their brand at the minute. So yeah, I think the capability of conversation that the TV series could create is one that we should harness as a community, and yeah, just be dynamic really, and follow the way HBO do it. I think that's the best way for us to be.
Yeah, okay, John. I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, HBO might sell it in the middle of the first series to Netflix, Apple, so everyone around the world can tune in. So, the longevity could go on, and then there could be a series 2 as well. So, could be building into the future, for the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely. There's huge opportunity there for just watching the pace of HBO.
Yeah. And have you had a audit on the smart contract for House of Dragon?
Yeah, sure. So we do have an audit, and that's with fresh coins. We got an audit of 96, and there's loads of functions on there that are fixed. We can't change much. We are looking at possibly, once the contract has been fully deployed and working, we are looking at possibly renouncing ownership. Now, the investor likes to have a conversation on that, so we are talking to the community about that, because people have different opinions. But as a team, we're thinking that this might be a good way to go. And then I would have access to the marketing wallet, and we can look to move from there. But yeah, we've got a fresh coins audit. We would look to improve the audit as the token and the project develops. And then, of course, once we get our DApps and our other features fully working, we look to get some audits on those as well.
Awesome, KJ. And going into the marketing after the launch, I mean, obviously a lot of marketing's built in that's going to be free. This is what's so popular with these projects for the House of Dragon. You'll get that free marketing, and that's what makes these projects do really well, which we've seen in the past. But what else are you planning to do around the marketing for the first few months?
Yeah, so of course we can get this hyped type of marketing now, pre-sale, pre-launch, and people like that. The investor likes that, and this is why I was saying it earlier about being in the moment, because there's a lot happening. Because once the token's launched, it's a very different type of token, right? People then migrate back to the next token launching because there's a lot of hype and people like that kind of hype. So how do you then, move into the next phase of your project? So yeah, I think we have to be clever about our marketing. We're not just gonna waste money and be irrational. We have to be smart and strategic because we have those weeks in between. We have a longevity timeline. So I think what we would do is to build first on the community, to encourage the token to be traded, to push the aggregator websites. And then as that develops, what we're able to do is to then trickle out our utilities, starting with our first NFTs, starting with our minting DApp, starting with our staking format. And then as that starts to trickle out, we can then trickle out the next formats and the play to earns in the second phases. So I think marketing maybe is needed closer to the time of the launch and things like that. But for the next 2 weeks post-launch, I think building community, encouraging trading on the token, looking towards CoinMarketCap, and building out the utility to be able to be prepared for the coming weeks would be something that we kind of do. So we would be more harnessing down and getting ready for that hype that's going to come, accumulating marketing money so that we can spend it wisely, because again, we've got that small tokenomics, so we have to be clever about what we do with that. But I think also continuing the conversation, having a conversation just like this, keep doing AMAs. We've done over 10 AMAs, and AMAs are a fantastic way to be able to talk to the investor about what we're doing, who we are as a team, and where we want to go. And it also gives a lot of people an opportunity to then, interact with us as well. So I think continue doing what we're doing with the AMAs is probably going to be the main focus of the marketing until the launch comes.
You may be planning after the series starts some billboard campaigns.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is probably one time that billboard campaigns actually work. To the investor, like, oh yeah, makes sense actually. Yeah, that would be a good type of marketing, because it is popular with crypto billboard marketings. So yeah, that is definitely one that we could do.
Okay, awesome, KJam. Let's open it up to the rest of the team. If anyone's got a question for KJam at House of the Dragon, go ahead.
Yeah, hey Glenn, I was listening in and it sounds super exciting. It's like you said, we've seen some quote-unquote fan tokens do extremely well in the past, and they didn't have like all the utilities and all the everything you guys have planned, right? So I can see this as being super exciting. And what was the best thing about it is the NFTs, right? Because it's all visual, it's a show, it's super nice. So I'm curious about the rollout of the NFTs. Are you gonna do it sort of just drop the collection entirely, or are you gonna do it, say, every week, some more characters that appear in the show, things like this? And also, are there gonna be, say, benefits to owning a certain group of NFTs? Like if you hold every member of a certain group in the show or a certain family, will people get some benefits from that? How is there anything like that in place?
Yeah, interesting. And yeah, like NFT tokenomics, it's a fantastic conversation. I'm learning all about it and stuff, and it is pretty endless. You can start to split it down into different places. But yeah, the first ones we want to release are going to be based on those main 9 characters. If you go to the HBO website to cast, you've got this really stylistic photo with the flames behind them and the cast pronounced in a nice pose at the front, and it's going to be based on those characters. And so the first stages are going to be to sort of just like set it off in motion, really. And then, as you say, that they're going to come every week on the next ones. Well, once we have the first 500 out, which are just based on characters with the different traits, the first 9 characters, what we'll then be able to do is to be like implemented by having the minting tab, implemented in our community, understanding what we're doing by producing these and what benefit it can have from them. And then once we've got that rapport with the team that's built them and made them, we'll be able to then produce the second phase. And what we could do then, we could look to do it every week. We could see, okay, what starts to happen in the episodes, and start to maybe slowly release new versions of the NFTs into the existing ones, and like trickle it in, and then maybe strategize some tokenomics whereby different types of houses worth more as the show develops, because the show could have one house that dominates and another one that doesn't, and one that's the underdog. So it could work around the narrative there. But I think importantly at the beginning to get a small base set, so people can get a hold of it, and then from there start to release new ones from that point would be an effective way. But yeah, it's interesting. It's not my strongest part, but I'm learning so much, and I think after these coming weeks, I'm going to be really knowledgeable on NFTs, and it is so limitless. That's the fantastic thing, especially when you're dealing with a TV show that's got a massive character list. It is quite limitless, and then all the different traits and aspects you can do from there. It just goes on. And I tell you what, a conversation with an NFT specialist is a really in-depth one.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, and it is like you say, it's something that can be amazing because you're onboarding fans of the show, and everybody knows, Game of Thrones fans are some of the most diehard fans out there. So once you get these people on your side, it might be like they never interacted with crypto or anything like that. Well, we're gaining one more knowledgeable DeFi user thanks to a fan token. So yeah, I love what you guys are doing. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks for the questions, actually. Yeah, I can imagine the House of Dragon community fans getting out there onto Twitter below, like sort of trailers they have for the HBO series coming and over to YouTube, and word of mouth is free and some of the best marketing in crypto as well.
Hell yeah, word of mouth, best way it is.
Okay, we've got lots of questions from community investors. Let's see, Syed, you had a question for KJam at House of the Dragon. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. I have a few questions. Okay, so my first question is related to longevity. So I was thinking that when the first season of the House of Dragon comes to an end, how will you going to maintain the hype during this time period and keep the project alive?
Well, it's a great question, and it's one that I have answered before on this AMA tour, and I'm very confident, and it's great. This is a great thing to be able to say, because most tokens right now, it is real, right? You have to be real that on the Binance Smart Chain, you got a small lifespan, 24, 48 hours. It's very common, people would go and buy a token that has a lifespan of 24 hours and then move on to the next one, or this is how it is. So what we can say here, Saeed, what we can say to the investor is that from this point, you've got 2 weeks before HBO pump their own marketing money into the world ecosystem and spread their culture all around the world. And then after that, as those episodes release, those 10 episodes every week, there's 10 weeks. So there's over 2 months. Of course, what do we do? What do we do after 2 months when the TV series is ended? Is that going to be catastrophic for the token? What can we do as a team? I think it comes down to the team, to how would you strategize what to do with the token there. But I would say before we even get there, that's looking way too far ahead. To be able to say that you can have 2 months plus of relevance in the type of market we're in now, with the type of token we're launching now, which is like a sub-meme hype token, I think that's a bullish, amazing place. And to look in the moment is key. So that's fantastic. Let's cross that bridge at 2 months. But not many tokens even get to that point today. So it's not a major concern.
Okay, got it. Thank you for explaining that. Okay, I was also thinking that as in crypto space, many other projects will also try to gain momentum through the hype around the House of Dragon. So how will you rise above other projects in this regard?
Yeah, sure. Fantastic. And again, we encourage this. We want this. It is good and it's healthy for everybody if there's multiple tokens. There is multiple tokens. There is other tokens right now on the Binance Smart Chain that have House of Dragon. There was one from 2021. It seems like it's dead. Don't buy that one. But yeah, there is tokens that have been around for a while, but there is no token that is on the CoinMarketCap or the CoinGecko. So right now, anyone has the ability to be able to launch that token. And if there is going to be a trend, if there is going to be this crypto trend, as you've seen with the grow trend now, there's so many tokens, we have to have more. We encourage more. Us as a team, we would like it if there was hundreds of House of Dragon tokens, because then for the investor, it comes down to which one do they invest in based on, I would say, the team. So you got to choose the team. You got to understand which House of the Dragon token you're buying, and, why you're buying it, and what's the team behind it. Because we believe that the ultimate goal here, if you're using that narrative you're saying there, is how would you rise above, or how would you rise above the competitors. I think it's to get onto the aggregator websites. I think if you can get onto there, then you will be number one. So possibly right now, we're all in the same race to get to the CoinMarketCap and the CoinGecko. And how would we rise above our competitors? We believe we've built a protocol, a contract, and a community that has the ability to be able to do that. And that's what we're going to push number one.
Got it, got it. Really nice to see you're confident, and it shows that you have everything planned out in the future. So you mentioned about these NFTs. I was wondering that will these NFTs be only exclusive for the native token holder, or anyone will be able to mint them?
You will use BNB to mint them. So I presume, yeah, you don't need to be a holder of the token if you were looking to purchase them. And if you were to stake them, then you would earn the token as a passive yield. So I suppose you could buy with BNB, and you would then subvertly you would acquire the token.
Okay, okay, got it. And will these NFTs be on Binance blockchain or Ethereum blockchain?
Right now, they'll be on the Binance blockchain, and then if we look to expand a marketplace, and just as we were saying with Glenn, to do cross-chain, then we could look to move from there. We are talking in partnerships about how to do that. The more you start asking in the DeFi space about NFTs and NFT production, the more you're going to get people asking you about going cross-chain and marketplace. So yeah, we've got conversations happening now as to where we could move them. And say this is a conversation I've had a few times now in AMA. So I think there's a want and a need from the community members for that to be possible. So let's see. First of all, they'll be on the Binance Smart Chain, and then let's see if we can expand from that point.
Okay, okay, got it. So regarding these NFTs, I want to know that who are the artists behind them, or who will be the artists behind these NFTs?
Yeah, we can't confirm the artist to anybody yet, because like I say, we're in early developments of it, and it would be nice to be able to go into an AMA and explain all this, but I guess it's all to look forward to, and that's what's good too. We're not just exhausting ourselves, pre-launch. We're not just exhausting all of our abilities. We've got so much more in the pipeline that we can continue another AMA tour. We can keep speaking. So we do have communication right now. We are working on these things, and all of that information will be trickling out.
Okay, got it. And will there be any royalties attached to these NFTs as well?
Again, that's something that we'll announce. That will come once we announce the information about the NFTs once they're released.
Okay, got it. Okay, the P2E game, it's in under development and it will come out in future. So can you tell us a little bit more about that? What kind of a game it will be? Will it be a web browser based game, or it will be released on Google Play or iOS, Apple Store? How will that work?
Yeah, it'll be a web browser based Web3 Connect game. It'll be similar to Croc River. You will be using NFTs to play the game. You'd have to purchase NFTs. You'll be doing hunts, like dragon hunts, and then the characters that you have as your NFT that you use to play the game, you'll be able to power up, and you'll be able to get a passive yield as well of the token from that. So yeah, there's more information that's going to come on that, but that's kind of like a base synopsis about how it is that it would work. But it will be a Web3 web browser game, and you will use NFTs in order to play it.
Okay, got it. I'm taking a lot of time. Final question. So I was just thinking that you are using, on your website, I've seen that you are using HPO visuals and their content as well. So I was wondering that, do you think that it can cause an issue for you in the future regarding copyrights, especially if your project reaches heights and get famous?
Yeah, sure. Fantastic. You covered so many points here, Saeed, right? So the great one of copyright, and this has to be a conversation, right? And it's interesting, the different AMA groups that I've been in, there's different. Some people have more anxiety about it. Some people are more cautious. Some people are like straight on it, like, yeah. So it's a great conversation. I like having it. And we thought about it as a team. We clearly know what we're doing. We are using HBO and their visuals. Now, we're not going to use them for the NFTs. We're not going to use them for the play to earn. They will be unique and artistically unique for the exact reason that we wouldn't want any problem with them. But when it comes to the token and how we're adopting our visual, we're kind of like skinning HBO's visual into the blockchain. We're like mapping it into the blockchain, and we're not concerned as a team about the copyright. We think that any attention from HBO would be fantastic for the token. They're a massive billion-dollar corporation. Will they notice us? I think we would have to be absolutely huge for that to happen. So yeah, we're looking at a future whereby we're in the hundreds of millions of market cap. Maybe that might start getting attention. But outside of that, Saeed, I think the conversation should be really on why doesn't HBO have their own token right now? Why is it that teams in the DeFi space right now are producing House of the Dragon tokens? Why isn't a company so big or a corporation so big as them adopting this type of technology? Why don't they have their own Ethereum token? Why don't they have their own NFT? So if they're late to the party, if they're not going to adopt new technology, just like the music industry didn't, things like LimeWire and Pirate Bay will exist and people will use them. And then slowly these type of companies will move to that technology, just like they did with streaming music. So I think that's the stance that we're on. But we're certainly not scared as a team. And I think another thing that sets us apart, and I think you asked that, yeah, you did ask that question, didn't you? That what sets us apart? We're going for that. We're deliberately going for that when some teams are not. Some teams are moving away because they don't want to get into any complications with HBO, but we are moving towards that. It'll be interesting. Can HBO remove every token on the blockchain? I think there'll be tokens on the Binance Smart Chain, on the Ethereum chain, on all of the chains that you see right now, all of the layer ones. There's possibilities that there's going to be House of the Dragon tokens. How can HBO remove all of them? It's mad. I don't know. I don't think they can. But yeah, if one of them got really big and started getting a lot of attention, would the exposure of HBO trying to shut it down create more exposure and more hype? It's an interesting scenario to think, but we're going on the idea that we're not concerned as a team. No.
It makes sense. It makes sense, and I agree with you. And thank you so much for answering all my questions. Thank you so much. Over to you, Glenn.
Thank you, Saeed.
Thank you for the question, Syed. Let's see, Western Beast, you had a question for KJAM here at House of the Dragon. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Weston.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing, I want to still, you've talked a lot about the play to earn game, and a statement I want to understand is the fact that they'll be doing these hunts. So, I mean, there's an objective when everyone is playing a game. If I'm hunting towards something, maybe I'm imagining an open field where I get to get some special items in that open field. But I want to understand the fact that you said that the hunts will be able to, you have a cooldown period. Now, will the difference in time of this cooldown period depend on the NFTs I'm using to run these hunts?
Yes, it will do. And that's a really nice insight there. And just to specify too that the game dev that we've got to be able to produce this is working towards this, so that this kind of information will be more soon. It's so not here right now. But what's exciting and what's really interesting, and anyone that's interested in marketing of crypto marketing, let's say, is every single AMA that I've been in, and we've done tons of the last week or so, everyone wants to know about the play to earn. Even though I say we don't have the play to earn, everybody asks about the play to earn all the time. So I think play to earn must be very popular right now with the investor. It's something that people want to have a conversation with. So it's something that once we get this token launched and we're looking at the NFTs, we're going to look to maybe ramp that up just because of the feedback we've been getting back about how does it work, how this works. There's a lot of interest in the play to earn. So yeah, what we're going to have to do there, Weston, is to speed up the information that we can give to the investor, because there's a really big demand from the investor to know more.
There are a lot of similar projects to similar shows. We're talking about the Squid Game season 2 that's also coming out very soon. And there's a ton of tokens that have actually compounded themselves towards that. Just like Sid said, it seems like you're piggybacking on HBO's marketing strategy. This will definitely get some attention somewhere. So, what happens if HBO extends the arm of partnership towards you? Will you be expecting them to run ads when they are playing the show on HBO?
What if HBO reach out to collaborate with us? That would be fantastic, right? I don't think it'll happen, but there's a scenario, right, that we can think for all of the possible outcomes of our realities. So yeah, we can go into think tanks and we can think about all these different options that might happen. That would be fantastic. Of course, we would accept it if HBO wanted to team up with us, but I really don't think we're on their radar right now. I really don't think they care about cryptocurrency enough, and I think it will take someone like Elon Musk to pump that House of Dragon into the blockchain for them to start being aware of it through Elon Musk, maybe, because at the moment, what's HBO doing with cryptocurrency? I don't know. I don't think they're doing anything. They're not bothered. So if they did reach out, that would be fantastic. But I don't think they will.
Well, let's hope it does, because this is what I'm asking. I saw a news recently that Gucci accepting ApeCoin as a payment system or something like that. Definitely, this is going to create a spike in ApeCoin's market cap because of that collaboration. Now, you also made mention that the fact that it would be very good if Elon Musk gets the attention. So this is a marketing strategy. Are you using influencers to pump to broadcast about this particular project, so that at least hopefully from word of mouth to word of mouth it gets to those higher end celebrities?
Sure. So we're running with Brothers Marketing now. We've been using influencers in the crypto space that they're connected with, that they've recommended. Can we move out of that to more influencers, let's say, in the acting scene to familiarize with the narrative of HBO and that sort of sense? Of course we can. I mean, what's great in today's world is all of these people have got Twitters and Instagrams, and you can reach out and you can have that direct communication. So of course, when things get closer to the launch of the HBO, or as the series go on, there's opportunities for us to be able to do that, and it's something that can be done really easy, something that can be done quite free too, right? Tweeting doesn't cost money, so you can do that as much as you can, and then once you've got that connection, where do you build it from there? So yeah, of course we can do that. But it's interesting that you mentioned the Elon Musk thing there, because yeah, it is pretty bullish. It is pretty bullish that he is a fan, and that he has openly tweeted 2 years ago now, it was, that he wants to build a cyborg dragon, that the HBO reached out to him. HBO kept hammering him. So to think about it, you're asking the question, would we reach out to them? HBO are going to reach out to people, and them using their money to be able to push the tweets and to Elon Musk and other people are probably then going to bring the attention back to us, so we can sit back and rely on HBO, right, to do it. But I'm pretty sure they understand the power of Elon Musk, and I'm pretty sure they're going to get their Twitter influencers pushing Elon Musk to get some attention, to tweet about them. So I think HBO will start rolling that ball down the hill, and we're just going to follow it.
All right. Here's my next question. Most projects, I mean, Said actually asked the question, but here's a follow up to that. Most projects usually pivot to another form of objective or utility when the hype has actually come down, in order to keep the investors' money intact. Those who actually have a good conscience, by the way, because those who don't, after the hype goes down, the project just ceases to exist, and people's monies get lost. So HBO is actually running other different series, and I mean there are a ton of series that actually come on aside from the House of Dragon. Hopefully, I'm only playing devil's advocate here, assuming that the House of Dragon hype actually deflates and goes down beyond saving grace levels. Would you be pivoting to another HBO series just to keep your token safe?
Gosh, so yeah, this is a worst case scenario that we want to think about. There's two ways to think about everything, right? And that's what's exciting. So you can think things might go wrong, and you can also think things can go right. But it's important to have these conversations and to strategize if one goes the other way. I think if you're a positive person and you manifest what you want, it can kind of happen. So we generally aren't looking that way as a team. But if the worst case scenario was to happen and our token was not to become relevant and HBO's House of Dragon was relevant, we're down in the ditches like that, we're a strong, experienced team. We'll be able to battle that. We'll be able to do something. There's many different techniques to be able to do that. You can hold on to your community and you can bounce off to something else. Would we look to do a secondary TV series? Not sure. I'm really not sure. We'll have to see what kind of things are around at that time. But of course, you have to be ready for all outcomes. And if that was going to be our outcome, it would be a sad one. But we do believe that we have the ability here. And then that gives the investor the opportunity. And so what we're doing is we're looking forward with a positive outcome. And I think that's going to be the key here to be able to get to that end result.
Yeah, these are really great answers. I'm a very positive person, but I usually I usually think of any possible factor before throwing on something. So that's why actually wishing your project the best. Hopefully, the House of Dragon series actually stays long enough so that the project also stays as long as it does. I'm wishing you the best, and I hope your project goes bullish onward. Over to you, Glenn.
Thank you.
And Beast, let's move on to Venice. You had a question for KJAM here at House of the Dragon. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Glenn. Actually, as KJM mentioned that HBO will be launching a new episode every week, and they have doing this for the Game of Thrones and other seasons as well. So I was wondering, will you have anything special event every week related to the week's episode, or any contest within your community, like a riddle or puzzle in the game that can be only solved after watching an episode for that week as well? I think it will create more hype among community members.
100% there, Dennis, 100%. Now, what we've been able to do is harness this conversation that we've been having in the AMAs and the feedback, and this is what people have been saying. So, right now, we don't know the narrative of the story. We don't know how it's going to go. We don't know what cliffhangers are going to be left or how it's going to play out. So what we can do is we can harness that. So we have to be really flexible, we have to be really dynamic, and we have to be really fluid as a team, and we are, and we can do that. So what we could have the opportunity there to do, Dennis, is exactly like you said, we can create some sort of activity around that. So when one episode's already played, depending on how that went, what's going to come next, we could run events where people try to predict what character is going to die, or what character is going to succeed, or what's going to happen in the next episode based on what we've already seen in the coming episodes. So like what's great there is that, yeah, we can harness all of that material, all of that unknown, all of that excitement. We can do community participation there that could really start to get the involvement of excitement around the community and the token and the Telegram group, because yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be action packed, and it's going to be sliced into probably like an hour, and then you got to wait for the next one, and it's all going to be unknown. So we have the ability to harness that unknown with competitions and other aspects too. You said riddles, so yeah, there's an unlimited amount of stuff, and I'm really excited that they have decided to do it every week so that we can monopolize on the hype that comes from those weekly releases. So yeah, sky's the limit, like Glenn said.
Okay, that's really awesome. And do you also have any plan to have any merchandises as well, on which popular characters or dragons or anything printed on them as well, like merchandises on which dragons are printed or any popular characters?
Yeah, merchandise. So it's something you see more in crypto now. It's something I thought about actually a few times with other tokens. It's not something I've had experience with. I definitely get recommendations for people wanting to print me T-shirts and give me rap songs, but I've never followed them up. But we can certainly go down that route. I have seen tokens that do that. When it comes to distributing those to people's addresses, there's a lot of like privacy issues in crypto that people want to keep anonymous. So it'll be interesting how you do that logistically, but as things develop, yeah, we'll see. Merchandise is definitely something that we could look at, but it's not something that we're planning at the moment.
Okay, and for the people who don't want to play your game, or if they don't have time for playing the game, will you have any NFT renting system for the users that can buy the raised NFT or NFT that can be rented to other people that can play the game and can share the rewards with the owner as well?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that just yet. We have had a conversation about this. People have asked it a lot in the AMA groups. That's something I have flagged up to look at, because everyone's asking about renting NFTs. It's not initially something, but yeah, as the user that doesn't want to play the game, you can purchase the NFTs and stake them, and then you'll be able to have that DeFi yield with that passive income in our token. So you can purchase them and go down that route, or you can then use them to play the game. Yeah, it's not compulsory, but in terms of renting them so that other people can play it, yeah, that's an interesting place. So we will see once we get more information on that play to earn. We'll be able to announce all the ins and outs about how it goes.
Okay, that's really awesome. And one last thing from my side, I was wondering, will there be any NFTs related to the previous series of House of Dragon, like Game of Thrones? So will there be any?
Yeah, like related to the Games of Thrones NFTs. I mean, right now that main 9 character is what we're looking at focusing on. And then what we're more bullish on is the additional cast, because as TV series start to develop, there starts to become an interest with a certain character. Like we don't know what characters are going to be, more popular, or what animals, whether it be a horse or a dog or something that's in the TV series that people start to relate with and that becomes more popular. So what we'll be able to do is to just harness it as it evolves. And I think that's the key thing to look for when it comes to that.
Okay, that's really great. And thank you so much for answering all my questions, KJam.
Oh, you're welcome, bud.
Any questions, Venice? Let's move on to Nathaniel. You had a question for KJam here at House of the Dragon. Go ahead. Hey, oh, you're coming through now. Go ahead, Nathaniel. No, I think we've lost him again. Let's see. Sandra Gray, you had a question? Go ahead. Very well here. Let's see. Crypto World, you had a question for KJam? Go ahead.
Hello, how are you guys?
Hi.
Yeah, and my question is, so it seems like the go for the NFTs and P2A gaming is one of the intertwined where the NFTs will be usable in game. So everyone seems to promise the P2A game, and they are all either same games with different characters or game comes soon. So what keeps investor interested until the release of the PTE game?
Yeah, I definitely think I definitely caught the essence, I think, of what you were saying, and it is important to stress. We're not a play to earn token, we're not an NFT, and I'm definitely not stating that. And I don't want to be in an AMA promising all these things coming, because that's just crazy. It's just so easy to do, and it's not what we're doing as a team. What we're looking at here is we're trying to get a contract. So how do we get people interested? Why is we're still developing these things? We're predominantly going to ride this hype. We're a slight hype meme token here. That's basing it on legacy world trends that we're even predicting the trend. There's nothing to say that it will become a trend. We're pre-predicting this. So what we really are is focusing on what we are as a token. And then as we emerge and evolve and develop, then we can start to beef out the utility and give that to the investor, but certainly not coming in it from a point of view saying that we're a play to earn coming, because that's too easy to do, and that's everywhere right now. Exactly like you just said, it's too easy to promise. So what we're promising is we're going to push this token to CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. We're going to have massive volume, set taxes, low taxes, so you can buy, sell, and do exactly what people want in the cryptocurrency right now, is have that money up concept. And then once we achieve that, we'll be able to then give people some extra utility, like the play to earn and like the NFTs.
Oh, what a wonderful answer. Then my last question is, how do they post this project in countries where crypto is restricted in trading, or is it considered a crime yet with huge crypto traders? Example, this updates is in Nigeria.
Yeah, how do we harness countries that are where crypto's restricted? Well, that's a huge question. Gosh, well, we're trying to battle a HBO corporation right now. We don't want to start a war of a country, but yeah, I mean, there's ways. I don't know. There's a lot of people that I talk to in the crypto space that are from countries whereby it's a little bit more restricted, but they're still involved in it. So I think for those countries, those individuals will participate if they want to, if they can. But how do we then harness other cultures? I've done multiple AMAs in Southeast Asia, in Vietnamese groups, in Turkish groups. So yeah, there is other cultures around the world that we can look to harness, and certainly it's something that we would look to use as the token develops. But how do we aid countries that crypto is illegal? And we yeah, I don't know. We need a vigilante army to try and do something. Go hack the government.
Thank you so much. I'm bullish for this project. Thank you, thank you. And next question for the other participant.
For the questions, unfortunately, we've run out of time today. It's been great speaking to KJ from the House of the Dragon. Like we've been talking, there's lots of hype built into it for the HBO series, and they've got utility they're going to add as they go along with the NFT, the staking platform, and the P2E Dragon game. Welcome and talk is for research and educational purposes. It's not financial advice, but you can check out the website, the white paper, and the official socials. They're in our main chat, and there's a link to the pre-sale there as well. Thank you very much for coming today, KJ. I think we've got Spin the Wheel as well today. The two
Sure.
lucky winners for $50.
Well, thank you, Glenn, and thank everyone here. I look forward to coming back on a follow-up. And just to remind everyone, the pre-sale is live right now. We launch on Saturday the 6th. But thank you, everyone, for listening. And I look forward to the HBO release. And again, have a great evening. Enjoy the spin the wheel. All right.
Okay, take care, KJ. Yeah, I'll send you over a copy of the recording shortly.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody could see the wheel. I've already spun it once for our first winner, and let me shuffle it one more time to get our second winner here. Everybody gets 50 BUSD. So thank you everybody for tuning in. This has really been great, and thank you to the House of Dragon for being here with us and giving us an opportunity to jump in right before the fair launch ends in a few hours here. So it's like Glenn said, if you heard something you liked, if you want to dig